Well, would you look at that? The FNAF movie is actually happening. I never thought I'd see the day. So if you've been living under a rock all this time, you've most likely seen that Blumhouse has dropped the teaser trailer for the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. And it's about damn time. I mean, I'm not one of those people who was being a little shit and annoying the hell out of Jason Blum to release the FNAF movie on Twitter. But I have been sitting here patiently waiting since the initial announcement that the series would be getting a movie back in forever ago.
It's been 84 years.
And truth be told, at one point I didn't believe we were getting that movie. I got to a point where I said, if I don't see a trailer for this movie, I won't believe it's actually happening. And then Mr. Blum himself made me eat those words.
Now eat your chili!
But can the movie succeed? It has been such a long time now since Blumhouse took on the project that some people may just not care anymore. I mean, the FNAF community is still very large and is still growing to this day, so of course there is going to be an audience that will go see it. But can it deliver? Can it succeed at being the movie the fans of the franchise have been wanting to see? And can it meet the high standard that has been set by its predecessor? And I'm not talking about the older games, I'm talking about
Willy's Wonderland!
Now, obviously, Willy's Wonderland and FNAF are two very different things. But, Willy's took a little inspiration from Five Nights at Freddy's. Just a little. And it has beaten FNAF in the race to the theaters, setting such a high bar of quality and excellence that it's really going to be hard for the FNAF movie to meet the incredible standards that were set by Willy's Wonderland. I'm kidding, the FNAF movie is going to mop the floor with Willy's Wonderland. Why do I even bring this up? Well, truth be told, Willy's Wonderland is actually a guilty pleasure of mine. It's such a terrible movie with a ridiculous plot, lame characters, poor writing, and over-the-top unnecessary action that it makes me happy. It's a movie that can warm my cold, black, shriveled-up heart, like what discovering the true meaning of Christmas did for the Grinch. It's a movie that is so bad that it's good. But Magma, you devilishly handsome connoisseur of films, how can a movie be bad and good in your eyes? Well, allow me to explain my inconsistent and potentially disease-enhanced thought process. I'm sure most of you know what this movie is, but for those who don't, here's a quick rundown. Willy's Wonderland is an American action horror film directed by Kevin Lewis and starring Nicolas Cage. The plot is pretty simple. Nicolas Cage is driving past an old town in the great state of North Carolina when his car tires are popped by those police spikes you see them use during high-speed chases. Now who put those there? A mechanic helps him out, but he's a boomer and only takes cash and not car, so he makes a deal with Nicolas Cage to do some community service work to pay him back. So Nicolas Cage has to go into the old abandoned Willy's Wonderland restaurant and give it a quick spit shine. But while he's drinking his power energy drinks to get his saliva going, the animatronics come to life and try to kill him. Thankfully, Mr. Cage is an old school epic gamer and knows how to handle a situation like this. So he beats the living fuck out of every single animatronic in the building and then proceeds to go back to work in cleaning up the place. He finishes his job, gets his car back, and rides off into the sunset with his new best friend Emily Totsta. Oh yeah, and then there's this subplot about the animatronics being possessed by a group of serial killers who used to run the restaurant, and the townspeople making a deal with them to feed them victims from out of town in order to spare their lives. I mean, that's cool, but it's not what I'm here for. The main selling point for the movie is Nicolas Cage fighting these robots and just absolutely murdering them to the point where you wonder who the real monster of the story is. And that's Nick Cage, baby! Because he's not stuck in there with them, they're stuck in there with him. This movie makes me think Con Air and The Rock were just testing grounds for his role in this movie. And you can tell the main selling point for this movie is Nicolas Cage fighting possessed killer robots, because there's this hilarious scene where he's about to help Emily Totsta's character fight off one of the animatronics, but then his watch goes off telling him it's time for his quick break. So he hands her his pocket knife and goes off to drink his energy drink and play pinball. The movie is very aware Nick Cage is the premise to the point where they make a quick joke about it. It's beautiful. I love it so much. You already know Nicolas Cage is the main character of the movie. He is credited as the janitor in the movie, which is fitting because we know absolutely nothing about his character. We don't know his backstory, we don't know his name, we don't know why he's driving through the town, we don't even get to hear him speak. That's right, he doesn't speak at all during the movie. He is literally a silent protagonist. Gordon Freeman would be proud. The only sounds he makes are the grunts we hear while he's slaughtering the animatronic, which is actually pretty funny. The other characters are all trying to explain what is happening and the dark history of Willy's Wonderland, and he's just dead silent the entire time and actually just ignores them in their warnings. He is solely there to clean the restaurant to pay for the fixing of his car. He is the true definition of a man in my eyes. He ain't here to fuck around. He is here to get shit done in an orderly and timely fashion. He is the ideal employee. The other characters are pretty forgetful and lame, and I don't care to talk about them. They're all just there to get murdered by the animatronics to increase the stakes of the movie. The only other two characters of true importance are Liv Hawthorne, played by Emily Totsta, and Sheriff Eloise Lund, played by Beth Grant. Liv is trying to destroy Willy's Wonderland, as her parents and her were victims that were fed to the animatronics, except she survived, but her parents didn't. She is on this crusade to destroy the restaurant by any means necessary. Sheriff Lund is the one who made the deal with the possessed animatronics to bring them victims, and she also becomes Liv's guardian after her parents were killed. These two play bigger roles in this movie, as Liv is trying to get Nicolas Cage out of the restaurant before he is killed, and Lund sees that Cage is destroying the animatronics, so she tries to tie him down so Willy can easily kill him. Unfortunately for her, she has failed Willy for the last time. All the other human characters are worthless. There is also the main cast of colorful characters that are part of Willy's band. We have the head honcho of the crew himself, Willy Weasel, Tito the Turtle, Monty Gator, Ozzy Osbourne Ostrich, Ballora, Nighty Night, DK himself, and this thing. They're fucking terrible. I mean, I guess it's alright because this is an action comedy horror film, and the poor effects definitely help the comedy aspect of this movie. But goddamn, I never thought I'd see the day where I can't tell if a movie has terrible CGI or just really bad practical effects. Sometimes I couldn't tell if one of the animatronics was CGI or stop motion. I mean this scene where Nicolas Cage is killing Ozzy Ostrich. I cannot for the life of me tell if he's just a horrible CGI ostrich or if he's literally claymation. Also, rather than building robots to put the costumes on, they were clearly being worn by real people. I mean, just look at Ballora. Look, she's trying to walk like a robot. Oh my god. C-3PO is so much more believable than this. Again, it adds to the comedy aspect of the movie, so bad that it's good. Other than that, the rest of the movie's done pretty well. The cinematography was great, the music was excellent, the action scenes were fun, and I even liked the lighting of the movie. Yeah, the rest was pretty aight. Yeah, this movie is good fun. If you are someone who takes your movies seriously, you will hate this movie. This movie had a $5 million budget to it, and I think it's safe to say most of it went towards paying Nicolas Cage. Man, with a movie budget like that, I wonder how much it made back at the box office. Ooh! Yikes. Yeah, that sounds about right. It's actually hard to believe it did that bad, since a lot of people who like Five Nights at Freddy's are very aware of this movie and have seen it. I think this movie was one of the many movies that was unfortunately affected by COVID, as it was supposed to come out in October of 2020, but was pushed back to February of 2021. And I think a lot of people were still scared of COVID, so they didn't go watch it in theaters. It is on Hulu, which is how I saw it, so I'm sure the reason so many have seen it is because they watched it at home on their TVs. But man, I wish I saw this movie in theaters. It would have been such a blast. Yeah, so overall, this movie is terrible, but like the Paul Anderson Resident Evil movies, it's got such a unique charm to it where, despite its flaws, it's still a fun movie to watch and laugh at. I'll take it over anything Disney makes these days.